Ladies and gentlemen, if I could just make a little announcement now that most of the players have arrived, finally. It's time just to give you a proper welcome here to Jeju. I think it's fair to say that we have a collection of the best players in the world here, almost to the extent where you feel sorry for the rest of the world.
Alright guys, welcome everybody. We are live here from Jeju Shinhwa World Resort. We're back in beautiful South Korea for another stop of Triton, the first stop of 2019 in fact. My name is Lex Veltes, alongside me is Randy Nananokalu.
This is going to be a good one. Jeju again. I'm excited for this, and today we're going to have the 250,000 Hong Kong dollar buy-in short deck ante-only event. This is equivalent of 32,000 USD.
Yeah, it's very easy. You just divide by 8 approximately and you'll get the US dollar amount.
Yeah, we are also going to have a lot of other events this week. We're going to have a bounty tournament. Have you heard about that one? The short deck ante-only bounty tournament.
As if there wasn't action enough in short deck, we're going to get a bounty event now. Very excited to see that one.
Yeah, that's going to be double the stakes, so about 65,000 USD. Then we're going to switch over to No Limit Hold'em, a 500k Hong Kong buy-in event, about 65,000 USD. We're going to have a $1 million short deck ante-only event. That is about 127,000 US dollars, and in the main event, 2 million Hong Kong dollars, 250,000 USD, and that was won by Mikita Badziakowski last year. So should be a good event. We will be dealing cards shortly for you guys. Hold cards up. We got multiple featured tables like last time, lots of transition.
I can't believe that it's going to be a 32k event as a kickoff.
Yeah, this is the small buy-in,
yeah,
okay?
It's a warm-up event, guys.
The warm-up event last time was a $100,000 Hong Kong buy-in, won by Nick Schulman. So we just upped it 2.5x.
Welcome to Jeju for the next chapter of the Triton Super High Roller Series. I'm Pete Latham. I'll be your host over the next 8 days, where we'll bring you 6 events, the best players in the world, and the biggest prize pools. Excited? You should be. The first event is the 250k Hong Kong dollars short deck tournament. Without further ado, let's hand you over to our crack commentary team, Lex Veldhuis and Randy Liu.
Well, there you go.
So you guys can see some of the players at this table already. Ben Lam, Isaac Haxton. Some new faces will be here today in Jeju.
Man, it's amazing. I can't wait for this action. As you see, we have a double set again. There's going to be very few breaks in the action.
Yeah, I mean, like, what tournament has 2 featured tables that just go back to back? So one of the innovative things in Triton Hold'em, they always try to keep the footage as good as possible for you guys. The highest stakes. Here we go.
Wow, some really good players immediately starting things off here in blue table. Would that be Robert Flink? Oh my God! If that's the guy that's a player from Sweden I've played against a lot. He was actually rumored a little while to be behind the Isildur account, so that says a lot about his play. We'll see though. I don't know exactly. But Ben Lam, Isaac Haxton, Daniel DeVoris, and David Seth. So really strong table there.
Yeah, this is going to be some good action. Now we are playing short deck today. I believe they have the rebuy bullets in this event, so there are multiple chips that will be behind. And I want to point out that, last time there were some No Limit players playing the event. They were a bit, unsure how to play, but now you see so many more of these No Limit players playing the short deck. They just feel like this is where the action is. They got to get in it. It's the hot game right now.
Wait, button is in seat 7? Yeah. There's no 4 seat. Oh, yeah. Right.
So again, we're playing ante-only. The button will do a double ante. Everyone put a single ante. You just got to throw in one more ante to be in the pot.
Yeah, everybody has a very big chance to win no matter what holding you have. Of course, there's some situations where you're drawing dead, but it doesn't happen a whole lot. And of course, just to remind you guys that a flush beats a full house in this game. And we took the deuces, 3s, 4s, and 5s out. But the ace is still low as well as high. So the ace can either be an ace or a 5. So ace 6, 7, 8, 9 makes a straight.
Yeah, those inside straight draws are a little bit hard to see, but you'll get used to it. You'll see a lot of calling in this game because the pot odds generally are good for you to complete and try and see a cheap flop. So the button is similar to the big blind, puts the most in pre-flop blind, best position.
And here you just see immediately the amount of odds that Isaac Haxton here with bottom pair and a gut shot have to win over a flop top pair from Seth Davies.
So a very small bet here. Now I think normally a big bet might be able to scare away a hand like ace-6, but when you see such a small bet, well, you might as well call with a backdoor flush draw top pair.
Yeah.
Haxton does take the lead. He's probably thinking that his opponent might have like a weak 2-pair occasionally, although they probably would raise pre-flop, so I actually like this check. Just hoping his opponent has a hand like king 9, you know, ace-6, that might want to take a turn into a bluff. Check, check on the turn. So actions on Haxton. Trying to decide, can he get a bet called? And I would say it's pretty hard, but it's also hard to get your opponent to bluff here.
Yeah. He's gonna check. I think that Seth probably would have bet with a straight on the turn to protect his hand a little bit. Seth happily gonna take his showdown value. Always nice to win the first one. Oh, that's the second one, actually.
The second one.
All right, they're doomed.
I love that we can switch back and forth.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's constant action.
So Chun here, ace-king suited, bumping it up 7,000. Haxton, he's got position, he's got queen-jack. It's a good hand to try to see a flop with. A king 10 offsuit, I think it's not really that good of a hand in this game. It's just, you know, it's just a lot of middle stuff, right? And what, you're hoping for a queen-jack on the flop in the ace. I can see it both ways. Colin, well, he's actually going to limp shove here.
Wow.
Any cameras?
Huh?
Are there any
That's
cameras?
really aggressive.
I don't know.
Yeah, I would say
What's that?
RFID.
this is not common.
No, but it's really cool that he recognizes the limp all-in situations. I really like that sort of aggression.
Yeah, so he's in big trouble here. Ace-king suited, dominated. I mean, with king 10, your opponent would call with like ace-king, king-queen, I'd say generally. Divorce flops an inside straight draw. 34% to win outright. They could chop if another club comes on the river.
Oh,
Okay.
there you go.
Nice.
Hard to do.
He got bailed out there. So, okay, maybe I won't do that play again. You know, this is one of those games where, like, you know, a no limit hold'em, you're like, okay, all in pre-flop, they probably got queens plus ace king plus. In this game, now you got to include those hands and include jack 10 suited, queen jack suited, like all these different hands. It's definitely a very action-oriented game. You know, good, it's fun for the players, fun for the viewers. Pocket queens on the dealer button.
This hand, same thing. It wouldn't be a bad hand to just go all in with. Secure what's in the middle.
Yeah, different players do have different strategies. Divorce going to raise here. It wouldn't surprise me if Ben Lamb plays as aggressive. He just shoved Jack 10 suited preflop last hand. So he does make the call.
What's up?
Okay.
All right, so we have bottom two pair for Ben Lamb, who's trailing against DeVoris' queens when you look at the statistics.
Yeah. I'll tell you though, pocket queens here, it's not too fun to play on this board. Looks like he is going to bet.
8,000.
It's a very small bet. It's not very common in short deck to see these small bets. Pretty much lets your opponent call with anything. Makes it actually really confusing to play post flop.
It's pretty cool if he decides to put multiple bets in, knowing that he blocks king queen. Look at that though.
I think DeVoris is like, well, I actually didn't expect to hit these strip queens, but I'll take it. It makes a lot of sense for him to consider checking here because say he bets his opponent has a king, goes all in, then what? Price yourself out, something silly. So he does check.
Yeah. Wow.
That is the perfect card because the flush doesn't get there.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So Ben Lamb, I mean, he loves this full house. He's just
10. 10. 10,000.
just bets 10,000. My thought here for Ben Lamb betting so small is thinking, DeVoris never has a straight because he would just bet the turn.
Yeah.
So he's hoping he gets hero called by like the case jack, some like ace queen.
Some 8-9 maybe.
Yeah, or maybe make his opponent. I don't think he's going to fold jack 10. He's just like, oh, I induced him because I bet so small.
Yeah.
I mean, Ben Lamb knows his opponent can definitely have a big hand like queens here or like aces, you know, ace jack. Then but sometimes when you bet so small, you're like, oh man, did I induce him? You know, it's definitely not a fun spot here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if Ben Lamb can fold this would be amazing.
Yeah, that would be very, very impressive. Especially, I think the key point is there, what you mentioned, is the fact that he bets small himself. That makes it so hard to get away with, because he has a much stronger hand than he's trying to represent.
Yeah. Because it looks like a block bet with like a king, right? Like, and to be fair, a lot of these players would make a move when the board pairs and try to bluff you off of something.
Yeah. I mean, what if somebody has ace-10?
So I think
You don't have any cover two. You have 80, 81.
so. Some things maybe Ben Lamb thinks about. Okay, how much does DeVoris play short deck? Is he that sick to make a play in this game type that he may be less experienced in?
Yeah, but you know, he's a really, really, really good no-limit hold'em player. They make some sick moves when they don't think
Yeah.
they're going to be winning with just calling.
Ben Lamb just talking to himself like, okay. When you're in this situation, you're always trying to think, okay, what kind of hands my opponent would bluff with? Wow, that's
What?
an amazing fold.
That is incredible.
That is incredible.
There were 50 antes deep.
Mm-hmm.
That's just incredible. Wow, Ben Lamb just continues to impress us once again here. Immediately, right off the bat. I feel like those are massive trap hands as well. You know, 10-6, 10-7 offsuit.
Yeah, you will see almost everyone fold like the 10-7 offsuits, 10-6, like the king-8s, the queen-8s, the queen...
Oh,
the
man,
queen-9 is
that's
like...
ultimate trash.
Yeah, they're really bad.
King-8, ugh, yeah.
And I'll tell you why. Like, you might be thinking, some players might be like, oh, well, I can make two pair. Like king-8, right? But the thing is, it comes king-10-8 and someone wants to get in with you. They either have better two pair or they got a straight that's flipping with you.
Yeah. So very coordinated board once again. Pogorski with top 2. He's doing pretty well here. Leo was really good. It was a really good hand to bet here. Having a 10 or an 8 in your hand here is just amazing. People are going to be so scared of a straight.
And when you bet out into 5 players, it looks a lot stronger, so people will generally fold like probably a weak top pair here, I would guess.
Yeah.
So Ivan just checks. Pogorski checks it back.
The cool thing that we saw about Ivan is sometimes when players check this turn, you think, wow, that's a pretty good bluffing opportunity. But Ivan sometimes likes to bluff when the pot is even bigger. He'll wait for his opponent to bet. It's like, now I got you, now I'll bluff, you know?
Ivan does stab here. I don't fault him for betting because once his opponent checks back the ace on the turn, it kind of looks like he's pretty weak. And then another overcard comes, so if the opponent has like, wow, he
There you
just
go.
folded. Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, great bluff.
Yeah, I was going to say, because the king is like, okay, well, if my opponent checks back, he probably has like jack 9, 10, 9. He's not going to call bet, so that's why I like the bet from Ivan.
Yeah.
I don't think Ivan expected his opponent to have 2 pair and fold, though.
No, I agree.
So Mikita Bodziakowski did win a main
Hey,
event
what's up, man?
in
see
Montenegro
you
and Jeju.
I saved you a seat. Yeah, man. Good to see you.
28 players remaining. Bodziakowski has 20 million in live earnings.
Wow, he's been on fire too. He's been crushing the last 2 years. It really seemed like he needed to adjust a little bit to the live play, the way people played in that player pool. But he's just doing what he's done his whole life. He's just crushing again. It's really, really impressive. Just knows how to adjust, knows where to go. Been crushing it online. As soon as that was no longer interesting to him, just goes to the live scene, crushes there. It's getting really good at short deck. It's very impressive. Just one of the poker's top earners in the history of the game.
Yeah, let me tell you about some of his scores. So he won the main event in Jeju last year for 5.2 million. He also won the main event in Montenegro Triton Super High Roller Series for 2.5 million. That's 2 events alone. He shipped about $8 million USD. And he final tabled a $1 million short deck Ante-Only event, 5th place. Yeah, he also seemed to have final tabled the Montenegro event in 2017 for 8th place.
Wow.
So it's safe to say he's very good at No Limit Hold'em, and he's making his own in the short deck events as well.
So true.
So Pogorski's really going for it. King Jack, he has nothing.
I really like how aggressive Pogorski can get. It's so tough to play.
Ivan Leo's got pair of aces and 9s. The 7 plays on the board.
Are you thinking about bluffing?
Trying to talk him out of it.
Yeah.
Gets Ivan Leo to fold the best hand. Shows him the King Jack high.
Good bluff.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. One of them should work for you, depending on your time zone. It's day 2 here in Jeju, and it is the final day of the 250k Hong Kong dollars short deck tournament.
Very best of luck. Divas, shuffle up and do it, please.
So that is the 250k Hong Kong dollars short deck tournament starting up again. 15 left at the moment, and on the feature table behind me, we have quite a lineup. John Juanda, Mikita Bodziakowski, the 2-time main event champion. We have Ben Lam, and to Ben Lam's left, you have Justin Bonomo. Scary. How was yesterday for you, and how is it going into today?
It was great. Like, I haven't played much of this game, so I'm still kind of figuring things out as they go.
Right.
But I like it. It's dynamic. You kind of have to make decisions on the fly, and I like that. I think I got one of the tougher table draws. Honestly, not really sure. I don't know how many players in this field have a lot of short deck experience.
Have you had any good results yet this year, or how's it going?
Obviously, I had an incredible streak going through July last year, but I'm actually on a pretty big downswing since then. You know, obviously, I can't complain.
Yeah, absolutely. Here comes the upswing again, I'm sure. But thanks for talking. Good luck today, Justin.
Thank you.
Subliminal messaging works so well on me. When I hear cappuccino, I'm like, ooh,
Yeah.
that sounds good.
Say dumplings, that works too, right?
Oh, stop. Don't even. I don't think we can be friends. Like, you just send me... You know that I'm looking for soup dumplings everywhere. And you just send me a picture on Twitter of soup dumplings. Are you serious?
No message, just a picture.
Yeah.
So here's Sergey Lebedev. It's going to limp of 8-9 offsuit. I think with pairs like 10s, you would just want to see a flop, especially in position.
I think what's nice with 10s is that you'll at least flop a reasonably high set as well.
That's the highest set possible, but look at this.
Look at this board.
Yeah, Weilong Chen has a straight. And Sheng, he probably pretty likes his hand too, right? Jack 9 here can make the nut.
Straight draws, yeah.
This hand could get out of hand depending on the action. Lebedev kind of likes his hand too, but he's in the worst shape, and he's the one reaching for chips.
I mean, we have 9-8. This is one of the best flops you can ask for. I'd rather have this board than flop like ace 9-8.
Yeah. So this is actually might make the pot really big, I think. My suspicion is that Weilong Chen, okay, he's going to just call here. So if you're Flink, you got top set. Do you raise or do you just call because it's just suspicious that someone could have 9-7 here? The way Weilong Chan's been playing the hand, you wouldn't suspect him to have 9-7 as much.
Yeah. I mean, if you flop a set in short deck and you're up against 2 straights, you're 50% to win. So
yeah, that's pretty good.
Because then so many of the other cards are missing, and there's so many cards that make you a boat or running boat all of a sudden.
He is reaching for raising chips. The thing is, with top set, someone else could have top 2 pair. They could have a lower set, and they probably want to give some more action.
325.
You can't blame him for raising. 9-7 offsuit is also a hand that isn't always played. Sheng here is like thinking, well, how am I going to get some more action in there? Now he's seen a bet, a call, and a raise. Now Jack 9 is one of the best draws here. It's a little dangerous because someone could put all of the chips in, and I don't think he wants to put it all in right now, just Jack 9. This is a very deep stack. So he needs to think, if he makes a call here, does Lebedev or Weilong Chen ever jam? Because if they do, then he's going to have to commit more than 325,000.
Man, what a situation here.
He's also contemplating maybe he can make a move. Wow, he's reaching for a big raise here. I'll tell you, if he raises here, this looks insanely strong.
Yeah.
That's him calling. That's a raise.
Wow.
This is one of the. This is one of the coolest hands I've seen so far. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
Weilong Chen Center. I just called the 75,000 raise. I got it all in the nuts. Wow. So Flink, he must know that someone has a straight.
Yeah.
And he knows that Sheng is going to get it all in, given that he's put 800,000 in.
This is one of those situations where you just need to see once in your life, like how much equity a set has against a straight and a random holding here.
Yeah, because if he makes a full house, neither player will be able to overcome that. They don't have a flush draw possible. So that's pretty important too. I think if Flink had like mid set, he probably should get away from it because someone can easily have top set.
Makes a big difference.
Top set only loses to 9-7. And even if he loses to 9-7, he can easily make a full house. He's up against 2 hands, so he's getting insane odds.
Yeah.
He's actually the 53% favorite to get some chips back.
Yeah, and Weilong Chen is most likely to have a straight here out of all the people. And because he has the shortest stack, I think that Flink could be thinking that he could be up against a set from you here. And that's going to be a big side pot. That could be a close to 2 million side pot.
Yes. If one person has a set, he knows he beats that person.
Yeah.
Like, almost always.
All in.
Did you say fuck all in? Oh my god, look at this.
This is the biggest pot of the tournament. 3.7 million chips.
Alright. Alright, so Wei Long Chen flopped the nuts, and he's the least amount
Yeah,
of chance
that is
to win.
amazing. So the nuts is actually not the hand you want here.
Yeah.
Which is surprising. And it's because he's up against 2 players. He needs, like, ace, then king. There's
Wow.
Queen. Nut straight for Shang. Flink needs to pair up.
哇！你影個草喺度。
One more card to go. Both players at risk. River card's an ace.
Nice.
Shang eliminates 2 players.
That's insane.
This is not 2 short stacks. This is 2 big, like, good stacks. They're out. F it, I'm all in.
Yeah.
Lebedev all in with ace jack. Bodzikowski of queens.
That. I really want to know what the stacks behind him are, because that is a big all-in. That's a 60 anti-all-in with ace jack, and he's in the middle of the pack if you look at the field and the stack sizes.
Yeah, I think Lebedev actually is putting on pressure on his opponents.
Sorry.
Bodzikowski, now with queens, normally I think this is a snap call. What's going through his mind probably is that we're 2 away from the money, some ICM stuff going on in his head.
You really have to be careful of pay jumps. He needs to know that he's a significant favorite overall in this situation. Otherwise, you do not want to tangle here.
It seems like this is one of the longest tanks of the tournament, almost 3 minutes. It doesn't look like he's got that many chips. I think he would rather be the one shoving than calling off. He is going to call. Can't fault him.
Yeah, he's getting really short. He's by far the shortest stack in the tournament.
So Bodzikowski is the favorite, 60-40.
Yeah. Somebody commenting on that's a very big all-in.
Why anything to think so long with pocket queen? Why anything so long with pocket queen?
Bubble.
Bubble indeed. So an ace or a 7 will do it for Lebedev. There it
There's
is.
the ace. So Makita eliminated in 10th place. We are on the bubble.
Rough exit for him.
I think Chua was like, why would you tank with queens?
Yeah.
what is ICM? Can't fault Makita. He got far. Remember, we're 1 player from the money. Next bust out, they're gonna get $0. And then it'll be 80,000 for the min cash of 8th.
Oh, Makita's out. How much?
Everyone got excited. Oh, Makita's out.
Close to 800.
Yeah, not just one closer to the bubble, but one of the most fearsome competitors is out.
775.
So Paul Faw's all in of 10-9 offsuit. Look,
Auto.
he's just putting the pressure on. He's just like, I'm a short stack. They're gonna wait for me. I might as well just try and steal some chips now. Ace 10 suited. Ace 10 suited. I think would be a tough call to make. Wow, he's making it all in play.
Almost 2 queens. Almost 2 queens.
No, that's bad for me.
Yeah, it's clean.
That is a big call.
That is a very big call. Because if he loses, he's pretty much the next one out.
Called?
Yeah, and he really beats like Jack 10 usually.
Yeah, Jack 10 and 10-9 is really what he's targeting here.
An Ace Jack and Ace Queen would shove this way. Ace King would shove this way. So this is seems to have worked out really well. Although Paul Flaw still has pretty good equity, never that far behind. Here comes the flop. That is all Benefield right now. He's got a flush draw.
7, 8.
Paul Flott needs a 9.
How about 9? Don't forget the 9.
You got the 9 of hearts.
Hey, that's
7 on the turn. Now hit an 8.
Now 8, 9.
He will be the bubble boy.
3 9s and 3 8s.
There's the 10, and Paul Flott's eliminated on the bubble. That's unfortunate. That's got to hurt a little bit.
How much you have, David? You have
Yeah, always hurts extra when you don't expect to get called.
1 million.
I had like 1
game.
more to start.
But he's in good spirits. You know why? He's jumping into event number 2. Double the stakes. Paul played well. Don't worry, we're going to see more of him soon. And everyone is now in the money. Everyone is guaranteed at least 610,000 Hong Kong dollars. That is 80,000 USD. Pay jumps are big. They are playing for 4.6 million for first.
If he had like ace king, ace queen, you win, you know? Yeah. Then another 2 seconds, then he would call. Yeah.
So Justin's probably a top 3 stack, as I imagine.
Right, we will be on a break in 250k short deck event.
So this is going to be the last hand for the break. Some really strong holdings here. 60 antes deep.
Just shoving all in.
Very interesting hand.
Aces for John
Wow.
Juanda.
I am going to go all in also.
Dang, I got a good 3-way hand.
Well, it's exactly
Justin
what you got now.
Bonomo.
3-way.
This is the winner.
I got
Just
it.
doubled up.
It's like 52%, right? No.
It's more like 75-25.
25 is better than normal one. Oh, you got all different suits, so it's
70-30.
slightly better.
I'm definitely
You've
gonna
been
win
running
this
good,
if I
so
call.
it's about 38 at least. Yep.
Oh, queen on the flop. John
Wow.
Juanda needs a king or an ace.
Is he going to get Bonomoed?
Now I need whatever.
30%.
King and ace would be better.
Turn card is a
that's
10.
really bad card.
Only 2 aces left. Or Justin Bono will eliminate John Juanda in 8th place.
But ace on the river, like, no. Good luck, guys.
Ouch.
Bonomo doing Bonomo things today. Playing well, running good.
John Juanda, he played really good. I mean, someone goes all in, you got aces, of course you're going to call. Unlucky, 8th place for about 80,000 US dollars.
Luckily for the players, the pay jumps aren't too crazy. There's just a lot of money to be made out there.
Ben Lamb's going to limp here. King Jack offsuit. Lebedev. He's got 2.2 million chips. Justin Bonomo, 4.1 million. We now have the blue chips in play.
We're about to start event number 2, the 500k short deck event.
The chip leader, Yu Wei Xiang, 7 million in chips. Here's the start of day 2 chip leader, Chun, Queen Jack suited, good enough for a call. So we're gonna go 3-way flop. It's a very nice flop for Chun. He's got open-ended straight flush draw. Ben Lam, it's got an inside straight draw, so probably would consider even betting out here. He likes to bet out on these ace-high boards when he limps under the gun. He knows he can represent hands like ace-king, ace-queen. He bets half of the pot. Queen Jack suited here is very sweet.
It's amazing boards.
If Chun wanted to put the pressure on, this would be a very good hand to do it with. You're probably ahead against a hand like Ace 10, I imagine.
Please place the bottom in seat number 2.
We are at the final table, so I can see the passive play being all right. It's a 53% chance to win. He's a favorite against the King High right now. So your Ben Lamb hand, your opponent calls the flop. Ace is kind of scary because he probably isn't going to fold an ace on the turn now.
Yeah, and you have King Jack yourself, so it's less likely your opponent has a hand like Jack 8 or Queen Jack, King Jack. I like to check.
Chun's going to take the free card. Straight flush, guys.
Wow. There it is.
Please just remind you, you have 3 bullets of 100K.
How often do you see a straight flush?
And don't forget, Lamb is the king of spades here, and he has no chance of winning in his mind if he's going to check this down.
Registration will be open for the first 8 levels, and all bullets will come into play at the beginning of level 8.
I think Lamb is thinking, well, he checked back so quickly on a turn. Does he really have an ace here? He probably doesn't.
Seat number 2. I wish you all the very best of luck. Dealers in the 500K, shuffle up and please.
Wow, he's reaching for chips. If you're a Chun, you're like, oh, please put more chips out there. This looks like 300,000 so far. If he bets 300,000, he's trying to get hands like King 10 to fold.
I think you can put some serious pressure even on an ace. Let's say ace, jack, ace, queen.
During the registration period, we'll play 7-handed. Once registration is closed, we'll move straight away to 6-handed.
You're sitting here with the straight flush. Your opponent's betting into you. You're basically hoping your opponent has a flush too. He shoves all in. His hand's over.
Ben Lamb gonna waste no time. No Hollywooding there. Man, that feeling when you see the 8 of spades, when you're in the hands, you just get like, there's always this tiny second where you can't believe it, right? It's too good to be true.
I just want to make a flush.
Yeah.
That's already hard to make.
I didn't ask for these powers.
You got thrown in front of you, you picked it up.
Pocket aces for the chip leader, and he's limping. Lin of ace jack suited. He's got 1.3 million. Only one player behind him to act. It's got to be pretty tempting to raise it up. Calling would be the safer play, given that Ben Lamb is getting quite short stacked.
We see England with a lot of aggressive action, though. Ben Lamb is just like, please don't do it, please don't do it. I want to see a flop. Just don't do it.
Lin's thinking, man, am I going to shove it all in here? He's also thinking, man, it took so long. Am I going to really just limp after this? He might just raise. He's grabbed raising chip so far.
He's at that awkward stack size.
Yeah, like a little bit too much. But then, yeah, it's a tough spot. Aces is praying for any kind of raise right now.
There's so much in the middle for him, though. I mean, look, he had, what did he have? 1.2, 1.3 million to start the hand. And also the antes are at 30k, 60k now, so you really can't fault him for shoving and trying to pick this up. I mean, you have 40% against kings.
25
It's really not that bad.
Min raise.
Min raise. Okay, so I think he just realized I don't want to put in all the chips in. This is, I haven't seen this play yet. He just was like, I don't want to go all in. I don't want to just call, and I don't want to fold. So I don't want to make it like 5, 10 antes. I'm just going to min raise.
Look at the amount of money in this pot already.
Yeah, by doing this though, he's actually reopened to action, which might get him not able to see a flop now.
Yeah, Wei Xiang definitely at the good end of a lot of situations this tournament, but hey, that's what you need to do to get a stack, especially in this game. He's been playing excellently as well.
So he's sitting here with aces, and he's thinking, what just happened? Just min raised. So does that mean I shove, or do I? But if he makes it like 500,000, it looks so suspicious already. Yeah, his best chance of getting called is to actually shove.
All right.
Yeah,
And
Ben Lam priced in.
Oh, he makes the call.
I just want you to lose more chips.
You did it.
Yeah.
You did it. I was happy to just check.
Oh, he's actually reopened to action, got Ben Lam in there.
But I took his out. I have ace jack of clubs.
There you go.
If you knew this was going to happen, then actually the min raise is a great play.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah. It's like, all right, everybody, say what you actually have, because this is not a big enough raise to call with strong hands.
So here we go.
Maybe that's like the sickest play. Oh.
Well, we know one jack is gone from the deck, so the equity is lower.
1 2. There are 3 out there.
Alright, I got a lot of stuff.
Card is a 10.
Well, jack's no good anymore, but
Oh, I
does
have to
increase in some outs.
knock. What the fuck?
You could have seen it. You could have busted it instead.
River card is a 7. Ben Lam's eliminated in 7th place for about 100,000 USD.
哦，做到嘢喎我。
Always a pleasure to see Ben Lam play.
我而家我已經啊，嘛係啊。
That's such a different hand. That hand could have been so different.
Queen King 啊。
Is this something that we're going to see? The more multi-weight is, the less big people raise? Because people have to play their hand much more openly and honestly?
Yeah. I think Ben Lam might be a little annoyed because he's probably thinking, I would never bust her normally. I would just check back to dealer button.
Yeah.
6 players remaining. We're going to be crowning our short deck champion event number 1 today. Ben Lam in 7th. 8th place was actually John Juanda. Everyone has gotten a 25,000 USD pay jump, playing for 600,000 USD up top.
I will be able to see the turn anyway.
It's on you.
Yeah, yeah.
Playing to a winner tonight.
Ace King for the short stack. I like this call.
Yeah.
I think you can just limp shove, get more chips out of there. Pocket queens. I don't really see how this doesn't get all in. See a shorter stack, limp in early position. Should be pretty happy to try to get it in. So Xiang is checking out the stacks behind him.
Ooh.
He just ships it himself.
Ships it, yeah.
Ay, I think I have to call, man.
Yeah, they would be coin flipping.
I think I have to call.
All right, here we go. So Chua Ying Lin is at risk of ace king.
Anyone take my out? Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Anyone take queen? Oh, no queen now, please.
So 28% to hit an ace or a king.
Smoke up this.
King is interesting card.
Yeah. I'm happy with a queen. If you're king.
One more card to go for
Ace
Lin.
on the river. Ace on the river.
And Lin's been eliminated in 6th place for 126,000. He was one of the more aggressive players. Sometimes things don't work out.
Thanks for the game. Good luck.
Yeah, he's very good spirits. I like to see that. I'm guarantee you this guy's jumping straight into event number 2, the 500K short deck. Taking a look at the trophy. Chun's been playing pretty snug. He's down to 965,000. Him and Benefield are the 2 shortest stacks in the tournament. Lebedev, ace-8 offsuit. Is he going to come in raising, or is he just going to call? Highly doubt he's going to fold. He knows there's 2 short stacks. He knows the players behind him really can't call too often unless they have a really good hand. So he's going to just start raising. Very different styles. King, queen for Bonomo. If king, queen is going to fold here, then raising a hand like ace-8 offsuit is going to be printing chips. We'll see what Bonomo does. He's got enough chips to play in position. I think Bonomo knows what's happening, that Lebedev is trying to push some action. So he does call in position. Yu Wei Xiang has Jack-9 offsuit. So he's going to come along in position. Well, if your opponents aren't going to fold these hands, the raising doesn't become that great. Ten, 10, 6. This is the board where no one has a piece. He decides to bet. He's only worried about a Jack-10 type hand continuing, maybe 10-9. 10-9 generally would be suited to call pre-flop. Lebedev, he's got the best hand. He's actually going to check. Checks over to Xiang. He checks it back. Turn card is the 8. Lebedev still has the best hand, but Yu Wei Xiang has the best chance of scooping his pot with his open-ended straight draw, Jack-9. Lebedev must be thinking, should he bet or just check? It's tricky giving 2 people in position a free card. He is going to reach for chips. Just doesn't want to let this get checked around for free. There's a lot in the middle. 700,000 chips. Yu Wei Xiang has 50, just a coin flip right now. If he thinks Lebedev is just firing as a bluff, I like the call. Just seems so unlikely for Lebedev to actually have a piece to not bet this flop, raise pre-flop. So the river card is an 8. Actually gives Lebedev a full house. A flush comes in. Lebedev might be thinking it's hard to get value from worse. So he might try and just check and try to induce a bet from 2 diamonds or like Jack 9 type hands. There's 2.85 million in the middle. It's actually going to reach for chips. I guess it's kind of a bit of a value blocker bet. Because only betting $1 million. It's about a third of the pot. He doesn't want to check and have like a 2.5 million chip bet come in, which would be very detrimental. Yu Wei-xiang has Jack high. If he makes a play at this pot, this would be very tough for Lebedev. Yu Wei-xiang's trying to think, does he have a flush draw here? Would he play it this way? Would he play a 10 this way? An 8 is already unlikely given the pre-flop raising, even though he has one.
All in.
All in from Yu Wei-xiang. That is an amazing read. Putting himself at risk. He's just read that the bet sizing is so small. But Lebedev hasn't given up his hand yet. Wow, such a sick hand. This is a great play from Xiang.
How much is it?
He understands there's 2 short stacks out there. Oh, so sick. When you bet a third of the pot, you're going to get people to induce you. You got to keep that in mind. Lebedev is just really trying to think this hand through. This is a huge pot. If Lebedev calls and is correct, Xiang's going to be out of the tournament in 5th place. This is some great hand reading skill from Xiang, because I think he thinks that Lebedev would always bet a 10 or a flush draw on the flop, given how big it is on the flop, just the sizing. 1.5 million started in there. So let's think about from Lebedev's point of view. He's thinking, does Xiang really check back a 10? It's unlikely, unless it's pocket 10s. Does he have pocket 6s? That's an unlikely hand to even play pre-flop. It definitely wouldn't shove now.
4.95.
The most likely hand he's up against is a flush if he was behind. It is possible for a flush draw to put the chips, to just check back the flop because of how short the other players are.
You don't have just a 10, do you?
The line is very credible. He's thinking that he would never shove a 10 this way. So he's putting him on a flush or nothing.
Quads.
This is the best hand of the tournament so far. Why lays it down? What an amazing bluff.
Show, one time.
I can't show.
Where's our live stream in 30 minutes?
Wow, that was so sick.
Big bluff. Or big hand. Probably second thing.
Oh my gosh. The second place guy puts on a big bluff on a chip leader despite two players who's got less than 1 million chips behind. Yu Wei Xiong is showing you how good he is at short deck. He's played perfectly this final table. The only hand he lost was a huge one with ace-king suited against aces. And now he's back up there. Chun, he's the start of day 2 chip leader. He's currently the short stack. All eyes will be on him. Given the situation of the chip stacks, he must know that he needs to make a move now. Can't really wait around and fold anymore. Everyone's going to be waiting for him.
It's actually funny that if you look at the start of the day chip stacks, that he had 3 million coming in. That would have still been a good stack now.
No, that is very true. They had some eliminations from Ben Lam in 7th. Lind got 6. John Joanda was the 8th place finisher. And action is back.
Everybody guaranteed $162,000. Next money bump's gonna get it up to $210,000. So money jump's definitely getting more significant.
So Xiang Yu Wei, ace queen, gonna open with a call. Blinds are 60,000, 120,000. Chun, he's just like, I'm too short. I'm gonna make a move. It's not gonna work.
How much is that?
So Lebedev, ace-8 suited. He's doing very well against ace-6.
One short.
A little bit uncharacteristic there for Chun. After waiting this long, after one of the biggest stacks in the tournament limbs, to go all in for just 12 antes is such a big chance that you're going to get called here.
Yeah, I think he was just like, okay, I took a 15-minute break, and he's like, I need to go all in. He's like, oh, I got an ace. I'm all in. So I think that's kind of what happened here. Bonamo pocket 10s. Actually kind of a annoying spot.
Yeah,
because
really
it's not that many chips.
But we talked about it before. If you flat, then you open up the action behind you, and there's a chip leader behind you who can put enormous amounts of pressure.
Wow, he's going all in with pocket 10s. I think with ace queen though, like, yeah, you gotta lay this down. But I mean, if you could see their hands, you would want to make the call, but too dangerous.
It's one of those spots for Bonamo where you just kind of have to throw your hands up and say, well, I just got to do this, and let's just hope he doesn't have it.
Yeah. So Chun, one ace is dead. King, king 8. 2 aces left in the deck. Turn card is the 7. Can now hit a 9 to make it straight. There's the 10. So Chun's gonna be our 5th place finisher. He really grinded it out.
Good game.
Yeah, played very solidly. I think that he did really well, considering that Benefield was the short stack at the table for so long.
Eliminated in 5th place. It's 162,000 USD. Don't worry, we got many days here.
Yeah, that's true.
Benefield, Jack 10. He's the short stack. I think he's going to make a play here.
All in?
Yeah, great.
There we go. He's going to get some action.
Oh, wow, yeah. Oh, man.
So action will be on Bonamo.
Oh. That's actually quite crazy because it's less than 20 antes.
I think there's a chance Bonemo would consider it, actually.
Yeah, he's been making some big raises and some big calls pre-flop.
And if Bonemo gives action, I think that would get Yu Wei Xiang out of there, given how deep he is.
That's true.
Question is, which one of these two will battle? Bonemo gets first choice.
Ace-8. It's a tough hand.
Yeah, he does know his opponent would shove hands like Jack-10, Queen-Jack, King-Queen. You're not that far ahead.
Yeah.
He does make the call.
Ooh, this actually opens the possibility of you pushing him out.
If you can make this all-in play, he would win massively here. It's tough, though, because you make this all-in play and your opponent has aces, you're like, oh my gosh, what did I do?
Yeah.
Against 8. So I would be thinking this. What would Bonemo flat call here with? If he had ace-king, would he reshove? I think the answer is yes.
Yes.
So I'm going to discount ace-king. If he had aces, would he flat call? Probably would. So I think aces is possible. Kings, would he flat call?
No.
I think he would reshove.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think this is aces or a hand that will call and fold. If that's the case, and you're holding one of the aces, this would be a reshove way more likely. Now, of course, this is a huge pot, and I wouldn't blame him for folding just because there's going to be a all-in and call in front of him. But if he can find an all-in here, he's going to win so many chips.
Yeah, I think that's a really good deduction.
How much?
146. 1,460.
So if you actually reshoves, that means Bonemo should have reshoved himself to kick out hands like ace-queen. He's going to lay it down.
Here's the jam.
It's going to be annoyed.
Yeah. I also don't think he expects Justin to have ace-8, ace-9 type of hands that often.
Flip. Sometimes you have this hunch, but then you're like, oh, if I'm wrong, there's so many chips I lose.
A jam, you fool?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ace-8? Don't do that.
Come with yourself.
Get ace-queen?
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't talk to me. Okay, so they would have actually chopped it unless the queen comes, but Benefield needs a queen, or he's out of this tournament.
Yeah, let's not forget what's at stake here.
River card is a 10. Benefield out in 4th place. He really did fight for it. Gets 210,000. I thought he played great.
Yeah, I think so too. He really showed a really good grind. Picked a lot of spots. Wasn't afraid to bet, call, and bluff. And he just got incredibly unlucky in the jacks and losing against a runner full house.
All in.
It's like 4.5.
4 and little more.
A little bit of fall in. Just the bottom, I might seriously consider this.
Here's 3.
It's fine. I call.
Yeah, that's a great call. Great call by him, and all of just like that. We're gonna be flipping. It's gonna be close to flip. Ace Jack might be a small favorite, but I'm not entirely sure. Bonomo in the lead now. Lebedov needs a runner on a straight or 10 to catch up here. It's not out yet. 22% left for him. Well, there's one of the cards he needs. Still at 21%. Will he get there? Doesn't do it. That means we're heads up.
Good game. Well played.
Good game.
Yeah, well played indeed. Lebedev out in third. Third place finisher, $278,000. Not bad. As far as I'm aware of, this is his first showing at a Triton event. Definitely didn't see him last time here in Jeju. Would love to see more of him. I think there's a big chance he's going to jump into the $64,000 short deck tournament. Trophy in the middle there. And there you go. Trash hand. So I think that's a really cool mechanic. Is going to kind of exploit the other person the hardest. What hands are going to be limped? Ace 10 here. Wow, ace queen for you.
Please.
Oh man, this might be fireworks. Hands are very tough to play after the flop. So if you have the option of just taking it down with hands like ace 10, that's very preferable.
All in.
There you go. It's gonna get... Snap calls. All right, there we go, guys. We're heads up. So this all-in could be the end of the tournament. Yue Shang with the advantage, though. Bonomo's gonna need a 10 to lock up this victory. His first victory of 2019, I believe. You know, it's a very dangerous thing to say. Stacks could be swapping around here if you Yu's hand does hold. Changes nothing. Except for the fact that Bonomo actually wants to see a queen. Look at that. 37%. 24% to window. So the ties are included there, as you see to the right. But 24%. 8 of clubs. Oh my goodness, he just gets there. No. Yue Shang. Big reel here. All these guys, friends. It's a 10 to chop. This is terrible news for him. Doesn't do it. Justin Bonomo, winner of the first event here. Jeju, South Korea. Triton Series 2019 getting kicked off with a very familiar face winning a tournament. Can't believe it. The Justin Bonomo train keeps on rolling. Claims another victim heads up, but very nice play here. Second place, $429,000.
Good start to the trip.
Yeah, it's an understatement.
High fives with spells, right? I can't do both at the same time.
So Justin, not a bad start to the week. Just earlier on you were telling me you're a bit new to short deck. Not a bad first attempt, eh?
Yeah, this is maybe my 4th short deck tournament and my first ever cash, so super happy to have won this, obviously.
And after last year, you had a terrible 2-month downswing you've been telling me about, and just as my pity was beginning to build, this happens. And yeah, tell us about how today played out. Was it a tough table?
I said 6 months, but yeah, I wasn't complaining. Yeah, this is a very tough table. A lot of people at the table had a lot of experience in short deck. For me, a lot of the spots were new, and I just kind of had to figure them out as I went along. Some decisions I just ended up guessing. There are a couple spots where I'm really happy with the decision that I made on the river. But yeah, a lot of it just figuring it out as I went.
Is there some excitement with learning a new game like this? You know, learning the differences from Texas Hold'em. I guess you want to just win the top prize and not think about, oh, this is fun learning the game. But, you know, tell us how it is learning as you play.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun learning. Again, I really like the dynamic puzzle aspect. You're just solving things on the fly. It's also stressful though. Like, you know, people are watching on stream at home, my friends are watching, and I just don't want to make a huge mistake. The like standards that I have for myself in No Limit are so high that like anytime I make a small mistake, I beat myself up. In this, I was just hoping not to make like a giant embarrassing mistake. That was my goal.
And how much is it a nice feeling at the start of a week like this to get the first event, the very first event under your belt, and a nice short deck little listing on your Hendon mob?
That's a fantastic start. Honestly, my plan for short deck this week was I was going to play the smallest buy-in, and like seeing how I feel, I'd decide later if I was going to play the higher buy-ins. Obviously now at this point I'm kind of committed, I'll be playing the higher buy-ins. So yeah, couldn't be happier right now.
And a fancy little trophy. Quite a nice, that'll look good on the shelf, won't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, congratulations, Justin.
Thank you so much.
And it's not the end of the footage today, the coverage. We're going to throw you over to the second feature table where we have the 500k short deck tournament. So it's double the fun almost, I guess. Okay, look, we'll just throw you over there now, and I'm sure Randy and Lex are waiting for you. Cheers, guys.